5 or 6 days. It doesn't seem to be settling down any. And we did have a bit of a chat about, hey, let's play something else, but we didn't actually come to any conclusions. We should probably, as a rule, get some more games on the go for that. So, hey, such and such game is down, we should play, but we haven't really been that organised. I am therefore queuing. We have people here to talk about various things, and I just did a test print, and then I realised I printed it way too big. So I printed it's a piece out for an arcade game. It looks pretty good. It actually looks pretty much spot on to the original. It's just about 5% too big, so that's not any good at all. But I'll take it into the arcade tomorrow.
How did you misprint something?
No,
oh my god, Adam, I just joined the stream and saw the top half of that, and I'm like, why are you 3D printing a fleshlight?
Because I guess I measured it wrongly. I'm not really sure quite how I managed to...
Oh, so you've made it, printed it, taken it to the arcade and gone, oh, it doesn't fit.
No, I'm going to take it to the arcade tomorrow. But so what I've got here, and I can't really show you. Actually, I can. Let me take some screenshots. Let me take some photos. I'll put it on Discord, and then the internet can see it. So at Blackpool Arcade, we've got some knackered Panic Parks. At Leeds Arcade, we have some almost knackered Panic Parks. And at Bury Arcade, we have Panic Parks that are missing. So I will take a photo of all the bits and bobs. Pop it on the Discord so I can show the chat. Put it in the right channel. So the green one is the one I printed, and the red one is held together mostly by masking tape and felt tip pen, and the blue one is dead. It's completely knackered.
Oh, I see. So the red one is the one you're trying to use as a sort of master.
Yeah, and the grip. But yeah, I've got most of it right, but I've been trying to make it chunkier because it's a bit wussy. So I'm trying to, so you can see it's just a very rapid test print. I think the base is all right. So the base has a much bigger outside, but the inside is the same. So therefore is stronger. But I managed to get the top part just the wrong size. So I was just looking, because we already at the arcade, the end bits here, they're already printed out by me. But it just means that I got this top bit wrong.
Oh,
because I'm an idiot apparently.
What is it?
Let's see if I can find a picture. It's an arcade
Is that
game.
like something you use a mallet or
It's a plumbus.
a plumbus? Ah. I'm surprised Adam's printed it with any infill at all.
Well, remember, so when it's done, I will print it with no infill because this machine gets absolutely hammered.
Battered.
Yeah. So there you go. There's their picture. So it's the red and the blue handles.
Oh, the ones that you slam sideways.
Yeah, so they don't actually hit each other, but they do come quite close. So at Leeds, we've already the green bits. Actually, that one, but these actually screw on. But somehow, I managed to get the size of this slightly wrong.
Stream has no signal.
Oh, it does that when I switch windows sometimes.
yeah.
I don't know why.
Right.
Yeah, so that's supposed to clip on, but I managed to just get it the wrong size. I'm only a little bit out. But yeah, I'm not doing it in infill because these are going to be about 130 grams printed solidly. And that means I can only get about 8 prints out of a kilo. So I need to get some more.
I mean, obviously, not having done any 3D printing at all, I'm just curious to understand how you go from, I've got a thing I want to 3D print or replace as a 3D print. How do you go from, I've got a faulty one, to getting it into the computer, to getting it back out of the printer? How does that process work?
I have. Now, you see, this is why I've got it wrong, because I have here an electronic digital caliper. You've seen them; they cost about £2.
They're
calipers. Calipers, but they are often called micrometers or whatever.
No,
but
what was the proper name though? Vernier gauge.
Vernier
gauge? I think it's something completely different.
A Vernier gauge. It is a Vernier gauge, but an electronic Vernier gauge, yes. The problem is,
I'm trying to work it out to read it. Yeah.
yeah, the problem is my battery went flat. That's why I measured. So I measured this with the tape measure, and it wasn't quite accurate enough. So that's why I'm only a couple of millimeters out. That's the thing. I am. This bit here needs to fit inside that bit there, but I'm pretty sure that the shaft is fine, and I'm pretty sure the internals here are fine, and the outside is mega chunky compared to the original. And I will print it with full infill, like I said, but there's for test prints. I mean, it is 3 or 4 times as fast as skip infill. This thing is very good.
I mean, if this one's too big or too small, you can always just use it as a toilet roll holder.
I guess so, or a plunger, or a flashlight. Flash. But yeah, I will be printing them solid when we're done. But yeah, I will just. Yeah, but the short answer is, Max, just a whole bunch of measurements. So you just go, this bit's 18 millimeters, this bit's 9 millimeters, this bit's 4, and then you build it as close as you can. I use a website called Tinkercad. But yeah, the red one, I'm not exaggerating. That's masking tape.
Rewinding a bit. You haven't got CAD software on your computer?
No. Well, I do probably somewhere, but I don't. No. I use
you're using a website to.
I use a website, yeah.
Make the render.
Yes, it's a website called Tinkercad, and then I download the file, and then I load it into a program called Cura. I hit slice, and it then works out what each layer of the model will be, and then hit print, and then in this case leave it for probably solidly about 7 hours, even on this printer. So I'll probably do long overnight prints on this one.
What's the sort of estimated time to print it?
About 4 hours 50 with 15% infill. Probably about 9 hours for a final print. What I tend to do sometimes.
Making it speed that up.
Why? I'm not in a hurry.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, that is already. So bear in mind, we're printing something. I mean, it's about a foot tall, maybe 9 inches tall. It is 190 millimeters tall. And 95 millimeters around. This is a really big print. This is.
I'm just wondering if they're. I'm curious now because I'm just thinking of alternative options. Can you? I mean, there must be companies out there that would make things for you, not 3D printed, but sort of in extrusion or mold, whatever it's made out of mold. What sort of money would we be talking if we said, like, we want 8 of these made out of mold or something? Lots of silly money.
The thing is, if you have 8 or 1 or 100. It's expensive. It's only when you get into the thousands it starts getting any cheaper. Yeah, very, very, very expensive. Now, bear in mind, I don't have to 3D print this. So what I can do is I can 3D print a mold, and then from the mold we can cast resin into it. So there are actually other solutions using 3D printing.
So you could use the 3D printer as a sort of template, as an infill, like the 15% one, and then you make a cast of that, and then the negative of that then becomes the cast of the proper one.
Yes. That's absolutely possible,
cool.
which is quite a neat thing. It's not one I've done very much of, for no particular reason other than I haven't had a need to. I'll just have a quick look. Steam charts. Steam charts has no S in it. Well, has one. Lost Ark. Just curious how many. 1.3 million peak. 1.1 million playing right now.
Of
a Lost Ark.
There's a company called Shapeways that's been around for a long time before 3D printing was kind of mainstream, and I think they mostly do 3D printing now, but they say they've got 90 plus materials ranging from plastic to steel, aluminium,
yes,
other precious metals.
I haven't got a photo. We've got some stuff we printed out. So I printed out a bunch of 3D of minifix pickaxes in minifix scale from Fortress Craft. Andy did one of the Fortress Craft things in colour, in coloured sandstone, which is a very cool material. But they also do metal FDM up to 2 meters long. So if you want a 3D printed sword in metal, you can 3D print a sword in metal from Shapeways. But that does involve, of course.
Instantly break as soon as you hit anything with it, probably.
No, it's good. I mean, I wouldn't possibly hit another sword with it, but you could almost definitely kill somebody with it, I'm sure. Please don't. Do not kill someone with it, yeah. But the thing is, my issue, of course, I still need to do what I'm doing now, which is to get it right. and get the model right, iterate. I usually iterate 3 or 4 times in any model. It's very rare I get it right first time. And then, of course, send it off to Checkways going, send us 1,000. We don't need 1,000, we only need... well, we need 6, and I'll probably print 6 more. So it's going to be somewhere in the region of 12 hours of... No, it isn't 12 hours of printing. I can't do the
times
maths.
9.
Yeah, 6 times... 12 times 9.
I wonder if anyone's done a 3D printer that just does ice sculptures.
You could do that with... it wouldn't be a printer, it'd be a sculpt... It'd be like...
A laser cutter.
CNC.
Not... Yeah, CNC, but I mean, technically... Think about a 3D printer as a CNC machine, computer numerical control. It's way too vague a term. But yeah, you can get various 3 and 6 DOF cutting heads of various types.
Right, but I'd like to see a 3D printed ice sculpture as opposed to a carved from a block of ice. So you start with water and build it up by freezing. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
I'll see if I can find out if that's happened. Hold on.
As soon as I say it, someone must have done it.
Yeah, that happens way too much these days, I found. Like, I've got a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's one. Yes, this is a 3D. The article says 3D subtracted because you're not really printing anything. But
Well, then that's what I said. That's going to be
Carving of some
carving,
sort.
yeah.
Did you see the Stuff Made Here episode where he made a computer-controlled chainsaw that can carve a statue of a dog out of a block of...
Oh, what was the guy that did that?
Well, wasn't it Things Made Here or Stuff Made Here?
Stuff Made Here, yeah. That was...
He's brilliant. I love his videos.
That chain thing was terrifying.
you're coming across really stupid videos recently. Like from a few years back, I remember seeing one that was how fast do you have to slap a chicken to cook it?
Oh, that
Yeah.
was hilarious. That was just funny.
Well, you had to do it, you had to slap it many, many times. Didn't
No,
you?
no, just once.
Well, there's several different ways of doing it, right? You can slap it hard enough to do it, or enough times to do it, right?
Yeah, you can obviously you can get enough heat in there with one slap, but you just won't have an intact chicken.
Smushed into little pieces.
I don't think they even managed to.
No, you can't. No, you see, this is a typical physics problem. So part of the description says, assume that there is no sound and the chicken does not explode into a vapor when you hit it. Like that's going to be part of the.
Yeah, but that's what made it an interesting video. Was okay. So the basic premise that you just hit it at just the right amount of force, the right number of times. But there was all the engineering problems you had to solve to get the machine to last long enough to cook it. It was interesting because it just kept failing.
The thing is,
It's done! It's cooked! Oh my god!
is it really not dissipating the heat? So again, why is there no thermal imaging camera for this?
We're up another degree Celsius. Let's go! The goal of this first attempt was just to figure
That's
out
true,
if it's still
because it's a YouTube video, yes, I know.
But the thing is, that's just not.
60-degree chicken though, that's not cooked, man.
I knew something was up. Swapping out the
Well,
backup
sous
arms in a
vide.
desperate
Yeah.
attempt to keep this.
Well, he goes into all that.
Incidentally, I did film my Impreza doing a cold start. It really was not very exciting though, I'm afraid. So that was mildly disappointing.
He broke the machine several times, didn't he? I forgot about that.
Yeah, wood kept breaking or something. Didn't it?
No, it's made of metal that kept breaking.
Oh, really? Fatiguing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like I said,
Right.
there's some real engineering problems in there. So
I'm at 2,000 in the queue, let's go. Very slow.
get pummel party.
Yeah, I'm at 9,500 still, so.
Oh.
Yeah. Let
maybe
me see if I'm allowed to stick this on Discord. I might be able to. So I was hoping to get an interesting video of the heat flooding around different parts of the engine in the car, but it really didn't do what I expected it to do in the slightest, and I wasn't going to stand for 10 minutes. I need to really do it over 10 minutes and then do a time lapse of that.
Is this, what, the Tesla or a different car?
No, why would I do what would warm up in the
Yeah, I was
Tesla?
just saying, I was like, what?
If you've got burning petrol sloshing around your Tesla, something's gone very, very wrong.
I've overclocked it.
Oh, dear.
It's interesting that it's easy to get stuff off my phone by just saving it to Discord and then hitting download.
Yeah, I do that a lot. I just have a Discord server that's just got me in it, and I just randomly put images on there for later or something.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why impacts are warming up. So all you can see is the alternator, and then technically the radiator. But I was expecting to see the headers get warm, but it really doesn't. I was honestly surprised that it's nothing got warm in the minute or so of me filming it.
Does it modify the scale dynamically, and can you stop it so it
Yes.
keeps the same?
You can do, but you need to have the whole range somewhere first. So you can just say freeze the dynamic range. And I didn't really have anything I could point at that was warm. Well, I think I fixed it. I think that's right. I don't know whether to make it more ergonomic than the original. Because I've seen what children do to this, so it's probably not worth it.
What do you think your ETA is on your queue?
Well, I don't know. Forever or less. Yeah, I might start off another print of this tonight before bed, but I'll start it off slightly. Oh, damn! See, I've got the order wrong. I don't know why it doesn't give you an ETA, because that's the best way to
Yeah.
get people to stop queuing, is to go, look, this is like 300 hours, just give it up.
People will queue anyway, to be honest.
Well, maybe, but some people won't. For example, I won't. I've given up on the game because I can't be bothered queuing. So I just wonder how much it's false economy to sort of keep people queuing.
Now,
for
you
free.
should say estimated time in queue, blurt hours. Unknown Creations, I am modelling one of these on the right, which is one of these here. But I am noting it's got a much more beveled edge than mine. It doesn't need to be exact. This is more of a functional print than anything else. But yes, I'm just killing time while numbers go down. And slightly wondering where my transparent bit from the inside has gone.
I am curious how much higher their player count could have reached if not for the server issues. I imagine they are probably losing a fair amount of players.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Loads of people will have given up.
Because it's already like over 1 million.
Which is a very impressive feat. I mean, there's no two bones about it. Getting 1 million players in a game is incredibly rare and difficult these days. So, full marks to them there. What part's that part? The problem is when I do my final assembly, I have to do it in the right order. It's very annoying.
It's quite a big download as well, wasn't it, for this queue?
Yes,
Play
it
this
was.
queue,
Yes.
like 90 gigs or something.
Yeah. There
I
seems to be
thought
quite
it was 57.
There seems to be quite a lot of content, to be fair, though. It's not too bad. At least as far as MMOs go. I've seen worse.
Yeah, but Izzard's point is that the barrier to entry is quite high. It's not like it's 100 megabytes. Like, that means that Steam has served up at least 1.3 million times 57 gigabytes.
Yeah, some of which has gone to complete waste.
Well,
yeah.
Well, you say high barrier to entry with the download now, but isn't like Call of Duty and stuff like that amount these
Yeah, that's
days?
not free. Oh, I guess.
And you don't have to queue to play it.
That is also true.
What I do these days, if I am not sure if I'm going to play a game, I just stream it on Game Pass. So if I stream a game even for, let's say, an hour, I've actually used up less bandwidth than if I had downloaded it for the majority of times.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting, because at some point there is a crossover where it's more environmentally friendly to stream your game than play it.
Well, I pay 30 quid a month for a gaming PC, which is in Paris, but that's good enough. And it's got gigabit internet, so it takes minutes to download a game, and then it's not taking up any space or doing anything on my machine except streaming it. It's quite nice. Unless it's a game that's on GeForce Now, in which case I'll use that for preference, because then you don't even have to download it.
Yes, no, I've been very taken with the Xbox streaming stuff. Thank you, Morbits. I appreciate that. And then hopefully assemble those last 3 bits and tickety bonk. There we go. So I think now the top of this should correctly.
Wait, what was I going to say?
I don't know.
I was saying before you started streaming with yeah, there was like 2 or 3 of us in voice chat. Who was it? Malcolm that wasn't here, or that isn't here now? Yeah. This morning when I logged in, there was no queue, and then I went for dinner a little while ago, and then came back, and I didn't get logged out for an activity. But then I tried to change into a different area, and it booted me out. I was like, no.
Yeah. Now, as I said, the first thing I would do in their case is I would massively crank up the idle sensitivity, like massively.
Yeah, I was idle for like 40 minutes nearly, and I came back and I only had the warning saying you are idle. You will be kicked out soon. They could make that a lot lower, I think.
Okay, I've messed it up. That's the only complaint about this software, is it's a bit odd in the order you need to do things in. But it's called Tinkercad. It's online, you see, so it's that's the reason I use it more than anything else.
Interesting.
I have got my bevel on the inside. Because the thing is, I want to edit just this object here, so that's part of that object. But to get at that, I need to disassemble the object a whole bunch. I don't really want to do that. But I have 6,314 numbers to decrement. But yeah, the reviews for this are just stellar. People go, it's brilliant. It's such a good game. Like, really, 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 absolutely off the charts. Like, every negative review could be summed up as, I can't log on.
Yeah. I wish I could play more.
Yes. So, can I... Because that's made up of 2 shapes. There we go. So that's the one that's... I've already beveled it as much as I can. Maybe if I...
Well, cynically, people are gushing about games that aren't, I would say, objectively good games, but they just super exploit that dopamine gameplay loop.
Well, if it's not, what game is not objectively?
Well,
good?
like a lot of, well, I mean, there's just a lot of very samey mobile games, for example, that get very good reviews, but they're just making you go ding, 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 ding. I mean, we've all commented that the production values look very high in Lost Ark, at least. So
yeah,
they put the effort in. But I mean, I played it for half an hour and I didn't see anything new that I hadn't seen before in terms of gameplay.
To be fair, I don't. I mean, I've said this before. It's very rare people actually want something new. It's just not. What they actually want is something they know, but better.
It's polished.
But just better. Just they want what they know, but just better. Like, you know, this is, Minecraft is, the exception to that rule. But obviously, at the time, people just wanted something just, if you show me a Diablo 3 clone that's just Diablo 3 but better, I'm all over that shit. It doesn't need to be new in the slightest. I have no interest in a Diablo clone that somehow shakes the formula up. I just want more than 0 Diablo clones on the market, please.
Yeah, I'd never say that like all the ideas in gaming have been had and there's nothing new to be dreamt up, but certainly it's a dwindling pool, I'd say, of ideas left. Have you seen Everything as a Remix by Kirby?
I have.
He's done a new one. Well, he remastered the original one a few years ago, but he's doing a 2021, 22 version now, where he's sort of going around the ideas again, but more up to date. First part is on YouTube now, and first episode is about music, where he makes that point. But I think he's going into other forms of media as well. So I expect him to make the same comments about games. He's just making people borrow from each other and interpret differently and remix.
Thank you for that. If you can tell me an open source non-destructive editor, and that's the important thing about Tinkercad, is it's non-destructive. It's not meshes at any point. I could grab see, this is a sphere bevel cut in half of the bit, so at any point I could take this all to bits and just twiddle that bit. And mostly it's destructive editing in modelers these days, and I really wanted a non-destructive editor. It's also web-based, which is very, very good. I've used everything. The problem is, like 3D Studio or Maya, they have disappeared up their own arse. They are so unbelievably overcomplicated, whereas this does 99% of what I want. It's a bit rubbish at lofting, but it's pretty good overall. I just wish I could drill down through the constructive hierarchy to just that object without having touched anything else. There might be a way, but I don't know. But yeah, I'm happy to hear about any alternatives. If you say Blender, I will find you and I will hurt you. Wings is not suitable. 3D Studio and Maya are far too complicated. So is Blender, to be quite honest. I mean, all you need to know about Blender is that Schalke edits his videos in it. This is a program that does too much. Yes, it's a program that does too much. Whereas I want something that's simple. I mean, I do have some complaints about this one. So if you have a sphere, that's as smooth as you can make the sphere. For some reason, 24. I can't say 64. And I don't know why it's limited me in that way. But overall, I've used Tinkercad for a couple of years now, and it's really good. It's the advantage that in theory, I wouldn't try it, but in theory, I could even use this on my phone and tablet. But yeah, I can go from that. Let me just delete that set. I can go from that, export. Give it a moment.